The topic of the strongest is something that is always controversial and never has a clear answer most of the time. From series like Dragon Ball, Jujutsu Kaisen, and so on and so forth, the debate is seemingly never ending. One Piece is no different from that, and because of the insane amount of top tiers there are in the verse, we might never get a clear answer till the end of the series. However, just like most verses, there are characters that have arguments and reasons for them being the top one. In this case, Akainu is the man in my eyes that has shown the best feats and has some of, if not, the best narrative in the series. What's up guys, my name is Vertex, and if you enjoy videos like this, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I put out quality content like this weekly, you won't want to miss. So I think it's important to note that 1, this is only talking about current characters that are alive right now, and 2, that a good amount of people refuse to give this guy any credit because they still hate him over Ace's death, which if you are one of those people, go ahead and click off right now because this is pure information gathering to determine the strongest, not who you like more. Also, get the fuck over it. Shit was well over a decade ago and you don't need to force yourself to be more upset about it than you have to be. Now that we have gotten that out of the way, let's start off with some of his narrative. The first time we see Akainu is in the Ohara flashback, where we see him blow up the ship of escaping Oharians. From this instance, we could see that Akainu has a very ruthless nature to him. He ties up all loose ends and is absolute in his beliefs, which goes into one of the biggest themes in his character, absolute justice. It's what helps propel his character into another level, being someone that no matter what, believes their way of justice is the only acceptable kind. We see characters like Kaido and Kizaru are conflicted within their actions. Akainu doesn't have that mindset holding him back. If he sees something that's needed to be done, he will do it, no questions asked. The same way he killed the Marine for running away from the war. Characters like these are always some of the very strongest in whatever verse they are a part of. It's a trope a lot of the strongest take after. Sukuna doesn't stand for anyone's bullshit, and if you aren't to obey his will immediately, he will kill you. Frieza is a ruthless space tyrant that doesn't take any risks and strikes when needed. I could go on and on, but you guys get my point. Akainu clearly follows this trope. It makes a lot more sense for Akainu to be amongst the top of the top than it doesn't. After all, Oda confirmed that Akainu has a 5 billion berry bounty placed onto him. This is something that only 2 other characters have ever achieved so far, and that is Roger and Whitebeard. Even these guys were considered the strongest of their time, and Whitebeard we'll get into a bit later, yet Oda puts Akainu on the same tier as them. Speaking of Oda, if an author has a clear favorite and bias towards a character, I think you should most definitely put down all your stocks into them, especially Akainu. Remind you, the way Oda talks about this guy is pure glaze, as he, yes, cherishes him, which is something that he hasn't said about anyone else. He also claims for him to have the strongest Devil Fruit power in the entire verse. There's even a crazy statement where Oda says if you were to have made Akainu the protagonist at his current strength level, he would have outright claimed the One Piece and it would only take Oda a year to write the story. This is an absolutely insane statement about a character that way too many people look over. This implies he's able to take the Poneglyph off of Zunisha, defeat Kaido, Big Mom, and whoever has the last one, then successfully claim the One Piece. This outright put Akainu above Big Mom and Kaido. We even see how Akainu is made the strongest in the Marines when he is given the title of Fleet Admiral, and the narrator directly says him, Kuzan, and Kizaru are all the strongest force in the Navy, meaning Garp and Sengoku are both stated to be below Akainu as well. The way Oda talks about this man and literally cherishes him towards the final saga is in a way he has never talked about anyone before. I mean, this guy even says he's the most handsome in the verse. Like, it's clear Oda himself has crazy stock into this guy. Now let's talk about his feats and what this guy is actually capable of. The first time we see him in action is of course in Marineford, which we see him debut by clashing with and overpowering Whitebeard on multiple occasions. Mind you, this is the guy's real introduction, and we are seeing him stop Whitebeard's quick-infused, supreme-grade blade with just his foot while having his hands in his pockets. This is straight aura forming on another level. Now, if we examine the fight, you will clearly see Akainu has the edge, and I don't mean watching the anime, I mean the actual source material in the manga. We see Akainu was able to burn half of Whitebeard's face off and put holes in his body that incinerated his organs. Meanwhile, the only attacks Whitebeard landed on Akainu were after Ace's death and was an off-guard attack that the anime made Akainu aware of for some fucking reason, and the big attack where he made the hole in the ground. All these attacks did was make Akainu bleed. He didn't pass out or anything close, which is a very bad misconception in the community. As we see, he caught himself, burrowed a hole behind the Whitebeard pirates, and continued to fight them, and wanted to fight the red-haired pirates if not for Sengoku stopping the war. I don't know why some of you guys believed Whitebeard to have done a shit amount of damage onto Akainu here when he just did not. Otherwise, he would have fallen into the sea and died because he's a fucking devil fruit user. Another very, very stupid misconception is that Whitebeard didn't have haki. And to those people, I really want to know how much of One Piece you actually watched and didn't just skip over, because one of the most basic things to know in One Piece is that you need haki to touch Logia users. It's pretty disappointing that I still have to see those comments, I'm not gonna lie. So, we see that Akainu is successfully taking on Whitebeard's commanders and has more than enough strength to fight the red-haired pirates off. Meanwhile, because Akainu weakened Whitebeard so much, the Blackbeard pirates were able to kill them with their weapons. The only other noticeable attack Whitebeard took was a laser from Kizaru, which, by the way, if y'all want a Kizaru hype video, let me know down below. Anyway, the only reason Whitebeard was able to be defeated was because Akainu weakened him so much, and their battle is very quick and in flashing moments. We don't see them go back and forth with each other like we usually do, unfortunately. But if you look at their interactions, Akainu clearly has the edge, as taking off half of someone's face and burning their organs is more impressive than knocking them down for a quick second and making them bleed. The crazy fact that tops this all off though, is that Akainu wasn't even going all out. We see this in Punk Hazard, as if he were to have gone all out, he would have melted the entirety of Marineford and his allies. Mind you, that Marineford isn't just a navy base, as it inhabits a town with people in it. Akainu would be killing practically everyone if he went all out like we saw in his fight against Kuzan. Speaking of, we know that he was able to defeat him in a fight that lasted 10 days long and changed the entire climate of Punk Hazard. Mind you, that both changing a climate as dramatically as they did and fighting 10 days is something that has never been seen before. We also can't forget that despite the fact Blackbeard had his entire crew with him, the sight of solely Akainu was enough to make him and his crew run away in fear. This dude got Yonko crews running away. He also, unknowingly to some, displayed both Future Sight and Rio in Marineford. We see this when he, Kuzan, and Kizaru use Rio to stop Whitebeard shockwaves from destroying Marineford, and we see him use Future Sight when Marco and Vista attack him, and he uses his body to morph and avoid their attacks. Even after he does this, he literally says, "Haki users, meaning they used Haki, and Akainu clearly morphed his body to avoid the attacks the same way Katakuri does. It's a story where there is countless foreshadowing, but you guys don't want to accept that the Admirals showcase advanced Haki types before it was formally introduced in the show. We see this with fucking Gear 5 and so many others, so I don't see why it's so hard to accept that advanced Haki was displayed before we knew what it was. I bet if that motherfucker Shanks did it, some of you guys would not have a problem now, would we? Getting back on track though, if we quickly go over how this man is portrayed and the feats displayed, we see he has the strongest offensive power, the best stamina and endurance along with Kuzan, incredible durability, being able to take enraged Whitebeard attacks and still have more than enough strength to keep fighting, overpower him while holding back, defeat Kuzan, and is stated and shown not just to be over Garp, Kaido, and Big Mom, but up there with Roger and Whitebeard, and easily be able to find the One Piece. This is how you talk about end of series Luffy, yet Akainu right now is getting this treatment. This is all with limited knowledge on what he is actually capable of, and when the time comes, we find out, I will guarantee you that this man will be talked about in an even higher regard. No matter what you do or frankly who you are, fighting this guy is going to result in him either taking your limbs or your life. You're just not ready for him. Well, that's it for you guys. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and leave a like. It really helps with the algorithm and is very appreciated. As always, shout out to Tiberius for the thumbnail. He makes quality thumbnails for me all the time, and if you would like some of your own, hit him up on Twitter, link in the description, as well as my Twitter at @verdicts_ for more of my takes. And without further ado, you guys can get out of here.